When he was crossing into the shuttle, Ender noticed for the first time that the insignia on Major Anderson's uniform had changed. "Yes, he's a colonel now," said Graff. "In fact, Major Anderson has been placed in command of Battle School. As of this afternoon, I've been reassigned to other duties." Ender did not ask him what they were. Graff strapped himself into a seat across the aisle from him. There was only one other passenger, a quiet man in civilian clothes who was introduced as General Pace. Pace was carrying a briefcase, but Graff carried no more luggage than Ender did. Somehow that was comforting to Ender, that Graff also came away empty. Ender spoke only once on the voyage home. "Why are we going home?" he asked. "I thought command school was in the asteroid somewhere." "It is," said Graff, "but the battle school has no facilities for docking long-range ships, so you get a short landside leave." Ender wanted to ask if that meant he could see his family, but suddenly, as he thought that it might be possible, he was afraid, so he didn't ask, just closed his eyes and tried to sleep. Behind him, General Pace was studying him. For what purpose, Ender could not guess. It was a hot summer afternoon in Florida when they landed. Ender had been so long without sunlight that the light nearly blinded him. He squinted and sneezed and wanted to get back indoors. Everything was far away and flat. The ground, lacking the upward curve of battle school floors, seemed instead to fall away, so that on level ground Ender felt as though he were on a pinnacle. The pull of gravity felt different, and he scuffed his feet when he walked. He hated it. He wanted to go back home, back to the battle school, and the only place in the universe where he belonged. Arrested? Well, it's a natural thought. General Pace is the head of the military police. There was a death in the battle school. They didn't tell me whether Colonel Graff was being promoted or court-martialed, just transferred with orders to report to the Polomark. Is that a good sign or bad? Who knows? On the one hand, Ender Wiggin not only survived, he passed the threshold. He graduated in dazzlingly good shape. You have to give old Graff credit for that. On the other hand, there's a fourth passenger on the shuttle, the one traveling in a bag. Only the second death in the history of the school. At least it wasn't a suicide this time. How is murder better, Major Imbu? It wasn't murder, Colonel. We have it on video from 2 angles. No one can blame Ender. But they might blame Graff. After all this is over, the civilians can rake over our files and decide what was right and what was not. Give us medals where they think we were right, and take away our pensions and put us in jail where they decide we were wrong. At least they had the good sense not to tell Ender that the boy died. It's the second time, too. They didn't tell him about Stilson either. The kid is scary. Ender Wiggin isn't a killer. He just wins, thoroughly. If anybody's going to be scared, let it be the buggers. Makes you almost feel sorry for them, knowing Ender's going to be coming after them. The only one I feel sorry for is Ender, but not sorry enough to suggest that they ought to let up on him. I just got access to the material that Graff's been getting all this time, about fleet movements, that sort of thing. I used to sleep easy at night. Time's getting short? I shouldn't have mentioned it. I can't tell you secured information. I know. Let's leave it at this. They didn't get him to command school a day too soon, and maybe a couple of years too late.